Hello and welcome to a trailer analysis of the new Grand Theft Auto 5 trailers. There's 3 of them. My name's Chris Bratt and I'm joined by Simon Miller.
That's right, baby. I'm back. And it's more than a trailer analysis as well.
Yeah, of course.
We've seen it.
Well, as you say we, I mean, you're the lucky one.
I've seen it.
Last week you
I'm a special
went along.
man. I went along to a secret location that we cannot possibly name. Wasn't that secret?
Has it made you more or less excited?
Pretty excited about Grand Theft Auto. I was going to try and remain unexcited, but people ask you questions, you start talking about it, and you start getting pumped.
Yeah, you just can't help it.
Just can't help it.
So yeah, we're going to run through the each of the 3 trailers and then point some things out that we've noticed, and also give you a chance to kind of
Time to stuff that
expand
I've
on
seen,
stuff.
in case you like to see things rather than read them.
Brilliant. Well, we're starting off with Michael's trailer, which I think is my favourite. He kind of
It's my favourite too.
with the whole at the beginning of the trailer, he's talking to a psychiatrist. It's kind of like in The Sopranos. You're a Sopranos fan?
Yeah, it's very much like that.
Gives me that kind of vibe. So what did you? First off, what exactly did they show you at the event? How did they go?
Well, they kind of showed us how the character switching works and stuff like that. So they started with Franklin, parachuting through Mount Chiliad and stuff like that, which was really cool. Then we switched to Trevor, who was scuba diving, and then we finally switched to Michael, who did a quick side mission, just to show off all that kind of stuff. And, they mentioned how he's not exactly a happy man. He used to be a criminal. He's kind of left that behind. He's trying to be happy with his wife and family, but he just can't do it. I think that's what the trailer really focused on as well, how he is searching to fill that hole inside of him, but struggling. And lo and behold, in true Grand Theft Auto style, how does he find it? Back in the criminal world.
He's back in the game, man.
Exactly. Teaching you all kids,
Just when
if you want to be satisfied, be a criminal.
Brilliant.
Don't be a criminal.
Okay, so you mentioned the character switching then. For those of you that don't know, there are going to be 3 playable characters in GTA 5. How does the switching work?
Well, I mean, I didn't play it, obviously. I think it's clear to mention that it was an eyes only demo. But it seemed to be just a switch of a button. You just you have a character wheel and you just select it, and then the camera pans out. I like it would do on Google Maps. So it kind of flies up into the sky, and then it shifts across the landscape, and then it zooms down depending on where the other character is. Because all 3 characters are independent of each other. So if you're controlling Michael, Franklin will get on with his own thing. The AI will control it and do what he would do. And it's also, I mean, I don't think Rockstar wanted it to be seen like this, but I think from a gaming point of view, it's certainly worthwhile to have. It's also a lot like a fast travel mechanic, because, the world is massive and there's no way you could walk across it.
What is it? Is it 5 times the size of Red Dead or some ridiculous stat
It's
you
bigger
pulled
than
out?
Red Dead Redemption, GTA 4, and another game, which I keep forgetting,
San
combined.
Andreas,
I think it's San Andreas.
Yeah.
It is San Andreas, combined.
That's mental. How are they going to fill that up with stuff?
Honestly, I said this in the thing I wrote as well. It's just, you can't understand how impressive that world is until you see it on this kind of current gen technology. It's mental, and it's very impressive. And even if you are a massive GTA cynic, you need to tip your hat to them and say bravo.
So, whilst you're kind of wandering around, say you're controlling Michael, you could switch to Franklin. Could he be on the other end of the map?
Yeah. Most of in the demo he was miles away. And the camera pans across, so you kind of see like this almost satellite view of the world, and then it zooms back in, and you join them doing whatever they're doing. So it definitely does work as a fast travel thing if you do want to get across to the map, but it's much more sophisticated than that.
Yeah.
Just to break it down to it's a fast travel mechanic would be unfair.
Yeah, of course. In the missions as well, the trailers they show a kind of heist going on. You've talked about this in the office a little bit.
Yeah, like heists are going to be a lot like 3-Leaf Clover in GTA 4, which if you don't know was the mission that was a lot like Heat. You planned a bank job and you did a bank job, and it's really cool and stylish and stuff. Now, there are going to be lots of heists throughout the game where you have to prep everything. And when I say prep everything, I mean everything. So you've got to come up with the location, the vehicles, the disguises, the weapons. You've got to get crew together. So that probably means there'll be more people involved than just those 3. But the one we saw was just called Blitz Play, which was just like a mini one that Michael had come up with based on his love for Vinewood action movies. Right. So it's very stylish. It's in one of the trailers as well.
I think they show it from a couple of different perspectives, actually.
That's right.
That's what I was going to ask. You've talked about the character switching. Within that mission, is character switching a big part of that? Do you have to try and...
Massively, because it starts off with you having to spot you basically try and take down an armoured truck, which is what gets hit in a minute in the trailer.
To show the armoured truck here.
So you start off as Trevor, who's on a roof, and he's kind of looking out for that trailer. He then alerts Michael to let him know it's coming, so he's in a truck, and he then blocks a road to stop the armoured truck that's coming. And then as it's stopped and has to obviously brake, Franklin comes in another truck and knocks it over. And then as they get the cash, silent alarm, police come. And up to that point, all the switching has been done by the computer, for lack of a better
Right, yeah,
term.
that's what I was going to
But as soon as you're fighting the police, you're in control. So you can switch to Trevor to kind of use his advantage on the roof to take out, to snipe people or to take out sort of air, things like helicopters or something like that. And then you can kind of balance between Michael and Franklin in this instance to, obviously, it's your usual third-person cover shooter affairs you expect from a Rockstar game. But the really cool thing is because they act independently of one another, if you choose Franklin and you want to kind of run at the police, you'll get covering fire from Michael.
Cool.
And in that bit, it's up to you. You choose exactly who you choose and when. And that adds such a unique element, especially to GTA games, which sometimes have come into criticism for their combat. Now, personally, I don't agree with that. I've always enjoyed it, always thought it was fine. I think Red Dead's combat's really good. But, I mean, this really does add another layer to it, which I think a lot of people will like. And that in itself is really, really cool.
It's cool. So when you were taking out the truck with the character switching, does that feel kind of like you're just being shown a selection of like cutscenes that it wants you to see? Like
A little bit, but it didn't last very long. That's the thing. And also, you feel in control of it as well. Like, even though it's switching, it doesn't switch until you've done what you're supposed to do. So you would probably naturally switch there anyway. So it certainly didn't feel contrived or anything like that. It just felt interesting. It felt like a new dynamic, which I genuinely think is really, really good. That's probably what I'm excited about the most, is how that's going to work out and how they're going to thread the narratives together and whatnot.
Yeah, if we switch to Franklin's trailer here, you can see that they're showing it from a slightly different perspective. He's on a dirt bike at the start of one of these missions, and Michael's actually driving the truck by the looks of things in the background. So yeah, that's going to be cool to see how in some of the bigger missions, particularly with there being a lot of a focus on heists, how they go about that.
That stuff will be awesome. Like, because I assume you'll be jumping from the car. I mean, I didn't see anything like that, but I assume you'll be jumping from the car to the bike and having to do certain things. It'll just add a certain adrenaline to things. You know what I mean? It won't just be... Because in the past, Grand Theft Auto has suffered from, a bit... sometimes there's a lot of driving, get to your location. Yeah. And if you fail the mission, you have to keep doing it again. It's like, but this one just seems to be a lot more dynamic, a lot more quick. And I think it will just make it more interesting. And you'll never really know what you're supposed to do for a mission. I think it will surprise you a lot. And you may switch to someone who's in an absolutely insane position. You'd be like, oh my gosh, what the hell?
I imagine it'll be Trevor who will be in most of the insane positions. By looking at his trailer, he looks like he might be a bit of a loose cannon.
He's a sociopath, isn't he?
Yeah. At the very start, I love his introduction, how he's just taking someone out with a baseball bat. It's actually, if we just pause at the right frame as he takes this guy out, you can see that the Lost Motorcycle Club symbol.
Well, I would assume that it is because, like I say, when we switched to Trevor in the demo that I saw, he was actually surrounded by dead bodies, and on closer inspection, they seem to be members of the Lost. Yeah, so I'd imagine there is going to be some story to tie into this. That focuses on the Lost quite heavily. Obviously, you go back to the Lost in the Dam, the expansion stuff that they did. And Trevor's story will probably be, packed out by that. So I'm sure there'll be references to GTA 4 or whatnot, which will be interesting. Like, I don't think a lot of people saw that coming. I certainly didn't think there'd be anything to do with that in 5. So that's cool.
Yeah, it's good to see the kind of connections between the games. Obviously, this is set in San Andreas again. So particularly in Franklin stuff, we see a lot of reference to like the Grove Street gang and the ballers as well.
Yeah.
So it'll be cool to see the little references here and there.
It'll be awesome.
Parts of it.
And the other thing with Trevor as well is that in the demo that I saw, they took him scuba diving. And I cannot begin to explain how impressive, or just how big. There's so much underwater to explore. And I saw probably not even a 20th of the entire landmass you can swim under. And there was, fish and sharks and, sunken ships and stuff like that. And it was mental. I mean, I genuinely couldn't get... It was the thing that impressed me the most. I could not get my head around it. I don't understand how this thing exists.
Simon, I'm quite happy to see you excited about an underwater segment in GTA. That's not something you'd usually associate with getting giddy about.
Well, usually you think you're going to fall into water and that's it. You're dead. I remember in Vice City, the amount of times I fell in the water and that was it. You game over, which is slightly ridiculous for a game like that.
Or just falling into the water and having to swim for about half an hour to get
out. But now, if you've got scuba gear... You can dive underwater. It's just, obviously that's a big reason why the world is so big. Because they do have the landmass ties into the underwater stuff you can explore as well. But yeah, it's just unbelievable the size of it. When they were swimming around and, like I said, they saw 2 sharks and they had to kind of get out of the water and get away pretty quickly. It's just like, that's insane. Like, how have you even thought of this idea, let alone implement it on an Xbox 360 or PS3.
Did they give you any kind of hints that there'll be? Well, obviously, if they put that much work into it, they're going to have a few underwater-based missions.
There'll be loads. I imagine there'll be collectibles and there'll be stuff to find, and there'll be missions that specifically make. They're just 100% will be. They want to send you down there, if for nothing else, for you just to go, damn, what have you done?
Yeah, one of the most interesting things about Trevor's trailer as well is just this scene here where he's kind of seems to be lying on the side of a plane, shooting a submachine gun and just having a whale of a time.
I think this is where the whole, 3-character thing is going to really come into play, because it wouldn't surprise me if Franklin or Michael is flying that plane.
Yeah.
So, imagine that you kind of jump from flying the plane with Trevor on the wing to switching to Trevor, then having to take some guys out, and then maybe switching back to the plane before it takes off, before throwing Trevor off, and then trying to land the plane. It just, I can't even fathom how insane that kind of jumping around can get. And I just saw then as well, my demo with Trevor started with him in his pants. I think he just enjoys getting in his pants.
There's a lot of moments with Trevor with slightly different stages of undress.
Yeah, he doesn't care about clothes very much. He's happy to get naked quite a lot.
I don't think he cares about an awful lot. But there's loads of examples in the free trailers of seeing the different characters interacting together, and that seemed. I'm glad that you're happy about that and you're excited about that, because that's one of the biggest changes other than the scale of it.
Yeah, I mean, calling it GTA Greatest Hits is probably, streamlining it too much. But at the same time, I think all those 3 characters have something in common with past characters. And it wouldn't be surprising there's a few sort of ha-ha hints as you go. And I just think they're trying to offer everything that everyone's ever enjoyed in a GTA game for everybody. To try that alone is impressive, and if they pull it off, which I certainly think they'll do, it will be really something special. Like, even the cynics, I think, will go, you know what, you did good, Rockstar.
Who's your favourite character of the free so far?
Michael's my favourite, because he's like Tommy Vercetti from Vice City, and my favourite Grand Theft Auto. So
I've got a feeling he is going to be the most interesting to follow, especially because, if he's going back into the game, it's not going to end well for him. That just never works.
And one of them's got to die, surely. If you've got 3 characters, you've got to kill one of them off. Or maybe you get to choose. Maybe you're at sort of an impasse where you have to choose.
GTA 4 had a few moments like that,
I can't remember the names now, but I imagine there'll be something like that. But Michael, to me, just has the most interesting backstory, I think.
Yeah, I'd agree with that. I think Trevor's just seems the most fun out of the characters, but in terms of the actual story and seeing how it goes, I'm looking forward to seeing teaming about Michael in particular.
Yeah,
I think I'd agree.
Team Michael.
Yeah, thank you for joining us, Simon. What is it now? September 17th?
September 17th. We're only a few months away.
Oh, it's going to be exciting.
I'm excited. You know what? You should be excited. Don't be a cynic. It's a big game. Time and money has gone into it. Be excited.
You ain't got no respect. I got respect for reality. Enjoy them hoes, homie.
Yeah, whatever.
You ain't gotta like it 'cause the hood gon' love it. Watch a young nigga